Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
Hey, tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax break.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beat your price. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beat your price.
This episode is brought to you by Jira. Ever wonder how those big marketing campaigns that make headlines get delivered on time? It all starts with Jira, the only project management tool you need to plan and track work across any team. Every step of that campaign is organised in one place, from launching the campaign all the way back to designing ads and writing creative briefs. Get started on your next big marketing campaign idea today in Jira.
1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome once again to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am your host, Precious D, and we are continuing 31 Days of the Dead. Day 11. Back with me again today is Angel from Voices from the Mausoleum. Welcome back, Angel.
Oh, thank you for having me again. I'm excited.
So the second movie you picked off my list was Train to Busan. Why did you want to watch Train to Busan? And talk about it with me.
Yeah, Train to Busan is so many things in a zombie film that I don't feel like we always get in American-made zombie films. It's emotional, it's raw, it's scary, it's tense, it's got action, it's got these characters that are God, you hate them so much, you can't wait for something bad to happen. And then they've somehow also made these characters where you'll be like, your heart will break into a million pieces if something happens to them. But it's not what I would consider like a super fun movie because it is quite serious. But it's another zombie movie that I think is just perfectly executed. It just brings in so many things that I personally love about zombie films, which is when you really, it's a breakdown of humanity and what happens to humans when they're put in these situations where there's no consequences and it's just up to them, with how they want to handle it. And I just love the themes in it. And it's one of my absolute favorite zombie films.
I have been meaning to watch this movie for years. People have been telling me it's good. And it's been on my list to watch, and for some reason I just kept putting it off. And so I put it on the list this year because I'm like, it's time to watch that movie. And oh my God, it was brutal. Yeah. And this is the second Korean zombie movie that we've done this season, and they are very good. But this one is fucking brutal. Let me do a few stats here before we get too much further into it. It is from 2016, South Korean movie, directed by Yeon Sang-ho, written by Park Ju-suk. It's 118 minutes. Of course, it's in Korean. The budget was $8.5 million. The box office was $98.5 million. So good job. Nice return on that investment. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is an animated prequel that I've not seen called Soul Station, not Soul Train. They should have called it Soul Train.
They should have called it Soul Train.
Soul as in the city station. And then there is a standalone sequel called Peninsula. The cast is Gong Yoo as Seok Woo, the capitalist, the fund manager, Jung Yoo Mi as Song Kyung, the pregnant lady, Ma Dong-sok as Yoon Sang-hwa, the husband of the pregnant lady. Kim Soo-an as Soo-an, daughter of Sok-woo. That's the little girl who wants to go to Busan. She's the reason they're on this damn train. I think it's funny that they just used her name as her character's name. I don't know if that's a coincidence or they were just like, she's a kid. It'll be easier if we just call her by her
just
real
be
name.
easier.
Choi, I mean, she did a good job, but we'll get to that in a minute. Choi Woo-shik as Min Young-guk, baseball player, high school baseball player.
Yep.
So he is Kim Jin-hee, the girlfriend of the baseball player. Well, I mean, is she his girlfriend? She sort of just declares that she's his girlfriend.
She sort of, yeah.
Kim,
according to her, yes.
she sexually harasses him. Kim Hyu-sung as Yeon-suk, a business executive and a piece of shit. Choi Gui-hwa as the homeless man. Yes, but I'll get back to that. Jang Hyuk-jin as Ki-chul, a train attendant. Park Myung-sin as Jong-gil, In-gil's younger sister. Yi Soo-jung as In-gil, the older sister. Those are the two older ladies, but one of them's a little older than the other. Jung Sok-young as the driver of the train. Han Song-soo as the train team leader. Kim Chang-hwan as Deputy Kim Jun-moo. Shim Yun-kyung as a runaway girl. Lee Ju-shil as Sok-woo's mother and Suwon's grandmother. Woo Do-im as Min-ji. Cha Chung-hwa as middle-aged woman. Kim Ju-hoon as the baseball coach. Han Ji-eun as woman wearing headphones. So I don't remember which woman was wearing headphones. I assume the zombies got her. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. I started looking at things on Wikipedia. Oh my God. This movie is Judas Priest. Okay. So if you haven't watched it, folks, it is streaming everywhere for free on all the things. So you'll have no problem finding it. It's on the Tubi and the Pluto and the Peacock. If you have Peacock, watch it there because they'll show you all the ads at the beginning and then you can watch it
in the beginning. God, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch it on TV, it's going to be an 8-hour movie.
Yeah. But somebody to me was complaining about that the other day. And I'm like, have you forgotten what it used to be like?
Oh, I know. That's true. No, that's
just
fair.
We had to watch what came on when it came on. And
you couldn't.
You just had to sit through the commercials. Although there was always, some people, I always hated this. I'm going to get off a tangent here for a minute. Folks, you don't know what I'm talking about, you younger kids. Some people during the commercial would pick up the remote control and start flipping around to other channels because they didn't want to watch the commercial. And this used to bug the shit out of me because I'm like, you're not going to see enough of something on the other channel to matter.
Time. Yeah.
But you're going to risk not coming back to your original show in time. You might miss part of your show if you don't time it right and the commercial ends before you get back. So why are you just go up and get a drink or have a book next to you and read that during the commercial if it's bugging you that much, but don't flip the channels. Okay. Old man yelling at clouds rant over. So this movie's brutal. I loved it, but also fuck this movie.
No. I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it hits you like so you get so wrapped up in the characters and their stories so early on that you care almost too much for them and it ends up just destroying you by the end of the film. It's got one of the saddest endings ever.
It is. It's fucking brutal. I couldn't believe I couldn't especially the other Korean movie we watched was #Alive, and it had
that
a
one too.
fairly optimistic ending.
Mm-hmm.
And this one does not. This does not have a very optimistic ending. That little girl. Oh my God. Okay, so briefly, the premise is this: there's a guy. He's a business guy. He's a stockbroker kind of dude, fund manager, And he and his wife, I don't know if they're divorced or just separated, but
I think they're just
he's taking care of his daughter. The daughter wants to go see her mother, and and she's willing to get on the train and go by herself. Thank God she didn't. And
no kidding.
The father doesn't. The father's already fucked up by not being at her singing recital and buying her a video game system for her birthday when she already had the exact same system. He asked somebody at work, what are kids into these days? And he must have told them Xbox or whatever system it was.
I hated that part so much. That was upsetting.
It's also a little unbelievable that he didn't remember buying. It's not a cheap gift,
Yeah.
Not that he couldn't afford it, but he should have remembered I bought that for her last year. You should have bought her some games to go with it, you dumbass. But they just wanted to show that he's clueless, he's out of touch, he's worried, he spends too much time worrying about work and not enough time focused on his kid.
He's not present.
Because capitalism bad. But anyway, he's like, what do you want for your birthday? I want to go see mom in Busan. So he's like, okay, I fucked up. I will just take he doesn't even have to take the whole day off if there weren't a zombie apocalypse. He can be there and back. Yeah. They got high-speed rail. He can be there and back by lunch. So he agrees to take her, and there's a zombie outbreak while this is happening. And no explanation of why it happened, but that's fine because that's not what the movie's about.
Right.
And these are pretty fast zombies. They
yes.
are they're not super fast, but they're not super slow either. They seem to be very vision oriented, a little bit with sound, but if they can't see you, they kind of forget that you're there.
Yep.
And they turn you by biting, and the turn is pretty quick. Not
very
instant, quick. but pretty quick. So that's the kind of zombies we're dealing with. And it's zombies on a train. It's not snakes on a plane, it's zombies on a train.
Yeah.
And we see people's true selves coming out, and he does do his best to be a better father during the course of this movie.
Yeah. He gets some redemption.
But at the end, he fails, not through any fault of his own, but because he gets bit at the last fucking minute. And because he's, oh God, when the daughter's yelling for dad not to, please don't leave me, because she's still young enough to not quite get that when he's been bitten, he has to leave.
No,
although she might also
is devastating.
She might also be like, I don't care if you've been bitten, don't leave me. She might rather just be bitten and die with him. Hopefully her mom's still alive, but we don't know. I don't think he was able to get through to the mother. So we get a bunch of people on this train. We get a guy and his pregnant wife, and we get a businessman. There's a whole baseball team. There's a girl who's come along to wherever I think they're on their way to a game, and she's just tagging along because they're like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "Consider me your cheerleader." She's not officially a cheerleader. She just wants along.
To be there. Yeah.
Apparently, because she likes this one guy. Who, I don't know. Is he just shy? What is this? What's going on with him?
I think so. Because there's like parts later where he acts, where he's like, he does care for her, but I think he just tries to act like he doesn't because it's too much in front of everybody.
Yeah. He might just be embarrassed that she's being so,
because she's a lot. She's a lot. Like,
I thought it was really funny though, when she says, just accept your fate. And all his teammates start chanting, accept your fate, accept your fate. I started watching the movie. I started watching it dubbed. Partway through, I switched over just because I wanted to see if the little girl was doing as good a job as I thought she was. Folks, if you watch dub movies, you know that sometimes it's clearly an adult dubbing the child, and this makes the child's performance seem much worse than it actually is. And everybody's performance usually seems worse than it is because of the dubbing. So, but also it's hard to take notes when you're reading subtitles. So,
that's true too. Yeah.
So anyway, at the beginning though, they're chanting to him, "Accept your fate." So that was funny. But there's also some kind of businessman who, does it turn out that he actually is head of the company that runs the trains?
I think it's something like that. Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's something like that.
It seemed like when he tells us, because he's ordering the train people around and they're all like, no, we're not going to do that. But at some point, I think he says what he's the CEO of. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think they actually have something to do with the trains. And that's why he thinks he can order people around.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a position of power.
Yeah. So I think it's partly he's just used to being a boss, but I think partly he may actually have something to do with this company. But he hasn't bothered to tell them until later. Yeah. So that guy is a total selfish piece of shit. The father is kind of selfish in the beginning, but he gets less selfish as we go. But even that guy, at the very end, or near the very end, when that guy survived way longer than he should have, and he gets bitten and he starts reverting to his childhood. I can't remember exactly what it was he said, but something about his mother or something. We realize that he's just a frightened child. He's acting the way and this is probably not just this moment, but his whole life, that this fucking asshole inside is just a frightened little boy. And that's why he is the way he is. And we don't realize this about him until the very end, so that I end up having just a little bit of sympathy for this jerk as he's turning into a zombie. And that's very good. That's very well done.
Mothers know all about life's tricky transitions. Thankfully, Ollie helps you prioritize wellness through every age, life stage, or magnificent mood change. Need a multitasking multivitamin that keeps up with you? How about an essential prenatal for you and baby? Ollie's got you through it all. Life's tricky. Your wellness routine shouldn't be. Get what you need at ollie.com.
Listen in. Starbucks. It's a great day for coffee.
Yeah.
But then he ends up
not expected for his kind of given, how he is. I mean, because he uses his like demeanor and his presence to like cost other people their lives. Like when he shuts them out of the part of the train that they're in, and like everybody's just like listening to him, and he's creating panic and he's gaining power through that panic. And it's like, you just keep waiting. You're like, God, I hope whenever his time comes that it's like brutal.
Yeah.
And then to your point, like he gets to that point and then that happens and you're kind of like, oh, so he was like an actual human being because he spends the whole movie being an asshole.
Yeah. But he's, and I'm not trying to say it's okay to be an asshole in life, people, but you never know. You don't know what anybody else is going through, and you never know what somebody else is really feeling inside. And he's just a frightened little boy, and probably everything he does in life and all of his rudeness and his bluster and his bullying is because he's a frightened little boy inside. And if he just went to some therapy, will literally become the CEO of a major corporation rather than go to therapy. What did I say the budget was? It wasn't that much. It was like 5 million, 5.8 million.
8? Yeah.
They did 8.5 million.
Yeah.
Everything about this is good. Everything about this is good. And I don't know if it's just cheaper to make a movie in Korea or not, or I mean, because none of it looks cheap. I mean, there's a big train, and there's the train's wreck at some point.
And
and it all looks good. None of it looks like cheap CGI. All the acting is good. The script is good, and they did it for 8.5 million. And
it's crazy.
There's movies with much bigger budgets that aren't anywhere near as good as this. So
yeah,
congratulations.
They did it.
They
guys. Made that money work for them. They did great with it. Yeah, for sure.
So all you aspiring filmmakers out there, and we mentioned this in another episode, but it's not all. The script is important. Having characters that you care about is important. If you can afford good special effects as well, that's great. But and the special effects are good in this, but it's most important that you make some characters that we care about. Nobody cares about the zombies. Nobody cares about how cool the kills are unless the characters that it's all happening to are people that you care about. But if you can get the cool kills and effects and a good script and good actors, then that's when you get a really great movie.
Yeah. Especially for movies like this that take place in like apocalyptic situations, or because I mean the world, like zombies are obviously something that are unsettling and can be scary, but yeah, if the people that are in danger are not people you connect with or care about, it's not going to be as effective.
Man, but I couldn't believe they gave it. That little girl is going to need so much therapy. She's going to have such abandonment issues, especially if her mother didn't make it. I think folks, spoilers here, but you should know this by now. You need to watch the movie before you come in here. The only two people from the train who make it are the pregnant woman and the little girl. Yeah. So I think that little girl's her daughter now. I'm pretty sure that's where we're going to end up with it. And we almost had a Night of the Living Dead ending.
Oh my God. When they're walking through that tunnel, I had so much anxiety.
But then the little girl starts to sing.
And that's how they know that she's not. Yeah.
Oi. Aloha. Oi. I didn't realize, because she had a singing recital, a few weeks ago that Dad didn't make it to, but somebody recorded it and he's got it on his phone as he's watching her, and she starts singing, but then she fades out and stops singing because she's looking for her dad and he's not out there in the audience. Oh, heartbreaking, and so well performed by that little girl. But I didn't catch that that's the song she was singing the first time until she starts singing it at the end. He asks her, "Why did you stop singing? I was watching it, and why did you stop singing?" And she's like, "Because I didn't see you." And he said, "Just because you didn't see me doesn't mean I wasn't watching. And you should always, you shouldn't have stopped. Because you should always finish what you start." Which I understand that that's a nice lesson to teach. But he could have also said, "I'm so sorry that I couldn't see me, that I wasn't there."
Jesus.
But I did. But someone recorded it and I was watching it, and I always meant to do that. But he needed to communicate better in the first place. But she starts singing that in the tunnel, and this, because the soldiers, they see them coming, but they can't tell from a distance whether they're infected. So this is Korea's this infection's been spreading pretty rapidly throughout the country, and the train stations are closed along they keep trying to get this train somewhere safe. And they can't. They finally get to the end of the line. They're off the train and they're walking through a tunnel. And at the end of the tunnel, there's an army barricade, and they're apparently shooting any zombies they see coming. Yep. And they see a woman and a little girl coming, and they can't tell from a distance whether they're alive or not. So they get the order to go ahead and shoot them. But then the little girl starts singing. And so we don't get the 100% unhappy ending. We only get the 95% unhappy ending. But I did think it was kind of interesting that little Korean girl was singing this Hawaiian song.
It's and the song choice too, like lyrically, is devastating too, because we're still, like, as a viewer, you're still processing the dad dying, and the moments that, you know, between like all the stuff kind of leading up to that, and you're like already broken, right? Then you go through this feeling of like, oh my God, are they going to get shot? And then she sings the song, and, you know, a lyric to the song is "Until we meet again." And you're just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't with this movie. It's so upsetting.
Yeah.
It's so good though.
And it's a song about how beautiful Hawaii is, but goodbye until we see each other again. Oh, it's Angel, how many brains out of 5 are you gonna rate Train to Busan?
This is getting another 5. I'm gonna do another 5.
Yeah.
5 out of 5. This is another
I'm giving it
perfect zombie film.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5, but also a fuck you.
That's fair. That's valid.
Should have let the dad live. It's just, I don't know anything about this filmmaker or the writer or the director. I don't know if everything they do is pessimistic and life is shit. But you know, it seems to be the final statement of the film is, life sucks. You can't win. The very best you can do is be the last 2 people standing. That girl, she's going to need so much therapy. Oh
then,
my God.
You know, in the sequel, Peninsula takes place in the future, like past all of that. And like, I don't remember I've only seen it once because it wasn't anywhere near as good as this one. But it's like, I don't even think it references the little girl, the pregnant lady, or the baby. Like, it just was like just a different story.
Right. It's just set in the same world timeline,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I mean, obviously I wasn't going to watch it before this one, but I wanted to put it on our list, but I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. It was supposedly streaming on some weird Asian movie app, but I couldn't make it work. I don't think it was even, I'm not sure it was even available to buy.
I watched it when it first came out.
Yeah. I think Soul Station is available, but I'm not certain. So I don't know. So yeah, that's 5 brains from both of us. Definitely recommend you watch it. Of course, we already spoiled it all. So if you haven't watched it, you're at least you're prepared. You should still watch it, but at least you're prepared for the bad ending. So it won't just knock you out of your chair and leave you sobbing into your Coca-Cola as you. Man. Well, Angel, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back again tomorrow with another episode. Folks, go on YouTube. We'll put a link in the show notes, but check out Voices from the Mausoleum on the YouTubes. Until next time, I have been Precious D. Angel has been with me today. Remember to keep calm and take shelter from basements. Please, for the love of God, do not misuse science. We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.